Okay, if you get literally nothing else out of this video, it should be this. You have to, I'm gonna call it milk the cable. You're basically gonna hold one end with your hand and take your other hand and pull all the way down. And I'll show you why. We're gonna pull all the way down. You see what it looks like now. I'm gonna continue to do this. All right, so I pulled the cable. You can see it's straighter. The one beside it there, I did that one like 6 times. This one I've only done, this is my first time doing it. So your first time is gonna be, you get the most out of it. Watch the pulley. Then I grab it again. It's hard to do this one-handed, fellas, sorry. Pull it. And again, and you'll see you're moving the twist out of that sucker. There it goes, and then it's frees up a little bit. And now, it's straighter than it was, but it's still not straight. So see how that one's sitting flat on the floor? No, you probably can't. That one's flat, pretty much all the way down. This one's sitting up way higher than that one. Now you can tell. So we're gonna do that like 4 or 5 more times. Okay, I got all 4 cables out. Can you guess which one I haven't straightened yet? Yeah, it's this one. Okay, people, if you get everything, you want to pay attention to your assembly instructions. The base rack is going to come with a set of instructions, but the functional trainer, which is a much bigger book, also comes with a set of instructions. You notice it says A and B, and it shows the rack being put together. And this base set in the functional trainer set, it also shows A and B, but when you go to the next page, we have a little bit more detail, including pulleys getting put on. Hold on, it's in here. Bam, there it is right there. Pulleys. So if you're doing the functional trainer, take this one and throw it away. Putting the pulleys on as you build it is gonna make things much faster than building it and then putting this on after the fact. So keep that in mind. Yeah, real talk, most of this work is just figuring out which crap is in which box. Everything's labeled A and B. Don't just be throwing stuff away, right? This, see? Stuff in the stuff. And then you'll be missing the stuff because you didn't look and threw the stuff away. Don't be throwing stuff away. All right, I'm gonna show you guys this because you're gonna read it, you're gonna get confused, you're gonna get mad. You're gonna see 10, 00700, and 429. You'll be like, what the heck are they talking about, right? What the heck? Like you have the length here. It says you need one, and over here you need another one. But what the heck does that mean? Here it is. Look at your hardware page. There's the 10-700, right? And it says it's M10. That's metric. 1.5. That's a thread pitch. L80 length is 80. So here you go. M10 times 80. That's the length. That's the thread. You got 26. You got 26. This one you got 4 of. 6998. Here it is. It's M10 by 70. You got 4. You see that L70? 4. That one right there, you got 2 of them. Its length is 25. Everything's M10 by 1.5 so far. And you got a bunch of those. And then you get an 8mm Allen wrench. Don't use that Allen wrench. Just go get you a decent Allen wrench. Look there. This is gonna make your life easier. This is gonna bust your knuckles, and then you won't be able to do anything. There you go. That's how you read it. Adjustable wrench not included. You should have one anyways. You're a man. Don't open all the boxes at once and throw parts everywhere. When you look here on these 2 steps, you need 2 pulley part numbers, 255089, 255090. Here's accessory box number 4. And if you look, there it is, 5089, 5090. There's your part number. So as you go, you open it up, you put it on, you don't lose it. Your life is way simpler. All right, that's what we're looking at. We're on step number 14 if you're following in the manual, but you're probably not. You're just trying to watch a YouTube video and figure it out yourself. Remember, the taller uprights go in the front, the shorter uprights go in the back, and the ones in the very back are the shortest and they angle towards the front. So if that's pointed the other way, you've done something wrong with your life. Everything's been great. Everything on the B side is in blue packaging for things that are wrapped up. So I know that thing is gonna go on this side. Makes it easy. Anything in white packaging, clear packaging, is gonna go on the A side. Even easier. Would also like to point out that up to this point, absolutely nothing has been torqued down. Don't use tools until it tells you to. Put everything hand tight. If you don't do it hand tight, these are not going to move. And when you go to put on the top piece, it's not going to line up and you're going to hate your life because you thought you outsmarted the manual by skipping steps. Just do what it says. People, come on. All right, now we get to the fun part. We get to the weight stacks. It tells you to put the guide rods in first. If you have the base stack, because you need a spacer, I don't know how you're going to get around it. If you have the upgraded stack, there's something you can do to make your life a little bit easier. They still tell you to do it the hard way because they don't want you to break your foot, and it's to be safe. One thing that is confusing, this down here, 10225. In the pictures, all these are really big, and that one's teeny. This is the 10225. It goes on the bottom. The weights land on it. It's supposed to be bigger to absorb the impact. So that's what goes over those two holes. Now I'm going to stack 25 plates over these two holes, and then I'm going to put the guide rods in those two holes. If you don't do that, you put the guide rods in, you take the weight, and then put them all down. I just don't feel like doing that because I'm lazy. You may be asking yourself, Ryan, why aren't you following the directions on this part? You told me to follow the directions, and I still think you should follow the directions, but I'm different. I get to do what I want. This is my garage. Also, if I put the guide rods in, I gotta go all the way up there to put the weights on. The weights are down here, and I'm down here, so I'm playing a game of high stakes Jenga. But remember, if you choose to do this, the weight stack is 250 pounds. These are 10 pounds apiece. So, you know, you could get hurt. Remember, I told y'all this was dangerous and don't do it. I'm just gonna show you how to do it anyways. Also, don't forget to put those spacers down there or your life will be miserable. Like I said, this is high stakes Jenga. Now I'm gonna take this guide rod and I'm gonna poke it through. And good luck, everybody. This is probably even dumber to do one-handed versus two hands. There's one. And here comes number two. Probably a good idea to like get a reference on height so you can know if they're seated, you know, so put one on the ground. That way you'll figure out if it doesn't go all the way in or not. And then I'll do number two. There it went. We are progressing. I think it's going pretty smooth so far. One thing I want to point out is when you are doing this and the functional trainer, the bolts that go in here, you got to pay attention to the lengths. Like these are shorter bolts. You could put the longer bolts in there and you could put the shorter bolts in there. But notice the washer size is different. So if you were to put shorter bolts in there, it's only 10 millimeters shorter, and then the smaller washers, I feel like that'd make it a lot more wobbly. So pay attention to what bolts go where. It's in the manual, it's pretty clear, but if you're not used to doing stuff like this, it'd be pretty easy to mix up the 70 and the 80 millimeters because they're the same size. So just pay attention when you're doing this to that right there, 80 millimeters. And then the washers got different part numbers too. Like so these are thinner washers, and then the washers that go like on the structural parts of the base rack, like these, those are the thicker washers that come with the other hardware kit for the base rack. So each part has its own hardware kit. I did see a lot of people online had issues with this one, and this is one actually you could put this on before you put the cross brace on, but you want to start these two up top and leave them loose. But then when you go to put these bolts in, you'll see they don't like necessarily line up. And if you look in there, there's a lip for the metal and then there's a lip for the threads. So what we're gonna do to get it down is we're gonna stick this 8 millimeter in there, and I'm gonna butt it up against the metal, but I'm not gonna touch the threads in that hole. I'm just gonna get the metal. Give me 1 second here. There we go. And now I'm under the metal. When I pull this sucker down, you'll see, focus. Bam, look at that hole line up. See there? See, now I can see the threads. So I'll do that. I'll stick these two in. I may have to tighten these two and then come back to the middle hole. But that's all you got to do to get that to line up. And then your life is going to be happier. All right, I went ahead and tightened all these down. I didn't use a step drill bit or a reamer or anything. You see all these bolts are parallel. They're all engaged in the threads. I didn't strip any of these out. But without a big long T-handle, this would have been tough. So you could get a round file and open up these holes on the top and the bottom a little bit, make it easier. Or a step drill bit, or call and complain and order a new bracket and wait like 3 more months. But it can go in without doing any modification. You just kind of, like I say, you got to put a little bend on that plate or hang on that with a pry bar or something. But I didn't want to damage the pulleys. That's why I did what I did. But yeah, that one, really that's the only thing that's kind of tough so far. Cables are routed over there. See, pulley comes out top. Now I'm doing this side. It's really easy, but continue to just, like I said, milk the cable. Pull that slack out, let this thing spin around. So when you're done, those don't spin. If you've ever rigged an aircraft cable, kind of have to do the same thing. If you don't take all the twist out of the cable, you're gonna feel it. Okay, hopefully you listen to me and you milk the cables a couple times and you let them sit out, and then while you put them on, you did it the whole time, because if you do that, and then you grab this, let me zoom out, and then you grab this. See there? Even if I do it fast. Straight as an arrow, doesn't twist at all. There you go. Beautiful. And then we'll go up. One-handed, ain't that fancy? This is so nice. And then we pull it again, and look at there. From the top, when you change it, it don't move. Woohoo! All right, what we're doing now is we're tightening all these. You want to do both sides, and then right there's your adjustment for the whole system. So this cable and this cable should feel about the same. I have done the right side and not the left side. You see these cables have tension on them, top and bottom, and these don't. You see it's got a little bend that's fixing to go away. This is further away from me in the camera than I thought. That one shakes a lot. This one shakes a little bit less. Because one has tension, one doesn't. You want to set tension just barely to the point where it doesn't pick up that plate. If it picks up that plate, it's going to be super annoying every time you try to load your weight pin. But you want to set tension with it in the bottom pin so it won't float on you while you're doing it. That's pretty much it. You'll get the pulleys tightened, and then you'll tighten that rod down until you see tension taken out of that. I'll show you what that looks like. After you get cable tension set, it's a 19mm wrench. Tighten the jam nut, and voila. Everything's taut. You see both cables got pulled up to the top. Both cables here are resting in the same spot. And then we'll take this pin out of the bottom. You put it up here in the hole. If you did it right, this plate doesn't float, and it doesn't. But it should when you lift, come right up, and that pulley comes down, and even less of the twisties. There you go, Bob your uncle. There it is, mostly built up. I gotta put the shrouds on, and I'm gonna put the Smith machine on later. Smith machine is supposed to be super easy. I just really wanted to show how to do the cables. You can stick your barbell up there. It's got little notches in the foot pads so your bench is centered every time, which is nice. I like having these kind of safeties or pin and pipe versus the strap, so it's good that they come with these. This is magnetic, by the way, which is really cool. And any standard 1-inch hole 2x2 attachment will fit it. And then that's as close as you can get to water without getting wet, but they made it work. It goes all the way up that way. So that's why the ones at the bottom stick a little further in. Anyways, that is that. That is the Rep Altitude 2x2 rack. Not a 3x3 rack, because 3x3 racks are super expensive. That's the end of the video.